All right, buddy. We're live. We should have some
Awesome.
people. Yeah, I see everyone jumping on. Hey guys, we're gonna get going in just a minute. Thanks a lot for being here, not just here, but actually being here on time. I appreciate a good realtor who's on time. Justin, I gotta
Good.
say, dude, you look spiffy today. Like your hair is combed. Like, are you feeling okay, man? Is there anything
Well,
wrong?
no, well, man, obviously I'm out here trying to sell some more real estate after being out of the game or, the day-to-day sales game for a little bit. So I had to go to a real estate agent event yesterday, the first one that I've been to in like 3 years, like where I was actually like meeting people to possibly sell homes. And I was like, well, I should break out a collar. It's been a long time.
Dude, that's very it's very grown up of you, buddy.
It is. It is. Well, and the Dodgers won. So I was like, well, I guess I can look nice today for the Dodgers.
That's right. It's been a long time, dude. I've been waiting longer than you've been alive.
Oh,
Last
really?
championship was 32 years ago, buddy. That's the
Oh, man.
last time I get to jump up and down and scream like a maniac in my house over baseball in October. So
Ever.
I just
Oh,
want
I
you to
love it.
know, like I've been waiting longer than you've been alive. So that was totally worth it. And I knew I wasn't going to sleep very well last night.
I love it. I love it, man. I love it. Good
Cool.
energy in the air then. One thing went right in 2020, right?
So far, yeah, we've had a couple good things going on in 2020. I got to admit, but
Good.
that definitely is something that went well. So
Good.
I'm excited for that. So cool. We got a bunch of people jumping on. Let's give it like maybe one more minute, dude. I'm gonna push us live to Facebook here into the next level agents group, and then we can get going, dude. So super excited to have you back. It's got to be what our third or fourth. I can't tag you on Facebook right now because we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
So uh there's got to be our third or fourth now webinar we've done together. So thanks a lot for coming back and doing another webinar for next level agents, dude. Super appreciate it.
Of course, man. As always, this is webinar number 3.
Yeah. All right. So it looks like we're live on Facebook now. So that's pushed. I can close that out. Again, if you are just getting here, thanks for listening to Justin and I ramble about the Dodgers and real estate and all that other good stuff. But I'm just excited, man. Justin Nelson, if you don't know him, if you've never heard him teach, you're in for a treat today, because what Justin does that I love and appreciate so much as someone else who gets the opportunity to teach agents from time to time is he gives away real tangible things. Whether he's selling something or not, it doesn't matter. He's going to give you something free and tangible that you could go implement in your business. And that is why we keep having him back, because we just get nothing but good feedback. So Justin Nelson, real estate agent extraordinaire, traveling the country extraordinaire, and owner founder of Sphere Rocket VA is back for another webinar with us. So Justin, I'm gonna let you take it away, brother. Thank you.
I love it, man. Well, when you get a second, if you could let me share my screen, I'll pull open a little presentation for everybody. But super excited to be back. I know Kevin says that I've been traveling the nation. I've actually been traveling the internet this year. Seems like I am been in more Zoom rooms than I could have ever imagined. So I think, Kevin, I saw yesterday, I've been in 972 different Zoom rooms in the last 60 days. That's like, and I think that's really cool. It's like we can be in
Dude, that's a
places that we never
ton.
thought we could be. It's a ton.
It
It's a
is cool.
ton. So
It is cool. But yeah, it's also a ton, man.
I love it. I love it. Well, Kevin, just let me know, man, if you can see my screen here, and we will get started. So can you see it okay, Kevin?
Yeah, I got it. And I'll let you do your thing. I'm going to monitor for questions, guys. If you have questions for Justin, put them in the chat or in the Q&A box. I'll do my best to make sure he sees them and can address them before we're done today. And we'll get everything answered for you. And go for it, Justin. It's all yours, dude. Screen is showing.
Perfect, guys. Well, I have a timer here, so we're going to get you out of here in about 45 minutes. Kevin knows me too well that I could speak for like 4 hours, and he'd be like, dude, like I think our last webinar we did, man, you texted me, and you're like, I have to pee. I have to pee, man. You told me an hour, and it was like 2.5 hours in.
True story.
So with that being said, I took everything down really tangible, and we're really going to focus on just one thing, and that's the top 50 things a VA can do for you. Now, before we go back, I'm going to skip something real fast, Kevin. I thought what's really interesting about the world we live in now is when we ask what is a real estate VA, actually everyone is a real estate virtual assistant right now. Everybody is. If you're a real estate agent, you're actually a virtual assistant right now. period, right? If someone
Sure.
calls you for a closing help, or even closings now, man, shocks me. We're a real estate virtual assistant when it comes to closings. I'll like drive up and they'll be like, hey, we have to do the closing via the car window. That's virtual, right? I've even seen clients out there sitting on their phones with a closing that's happening 10 feet away, right? This barrier that has been caused by COVID has made everybody learn that the real estate business has caused everybody to be a virtual assistant, right? Now, obviously, today we're going to talk a lot about virtual assistants in general. And so the reason why we're going to generalize it today is, while obviously our company deals with a lot of virtual assistants overseas in the Philippines, a lot of you guys right now have virtual assistants that are your admin that used to sit by you all day, right? So you actually might have a VA and didn't even know it. And so for those that are joining, I know a lot of you guys have maybe heard me speak before, but just to kind of give you guys a brief recap of myself, I'm the CEO of Sphere Rocket VA. In 2020 alone, we've placed over 200 real estate VAs. 6+ years in real estate. Kevin was making fun of my age. A lot of people are like, has this guy even ever sold real estate before? My background is in real estate. I've grown a real estate team with my father out of the Denver, Colorado market, ended up becoming team lead of that, growing it to 15+ agents, several locations before moving on full-time into the virtual assistant space. So I also run Sphere Rocket social media, which is another product of ours. So that's kind of my two main focuses. Is I deal 100% in the virtual assistant space, the social media space, and then I even might sell a little bit of real estate out here with Kevin and Fred. So cool. So we'll kind of dive into this. So again, just to recap, everyone is a virtual assistant. Now, Kevin, I don't know, man, have we ever talked about the 4 stages of a VA before, you and I?
I don't think that we have, dude.
Okay, cool. So we tried to bring something new for you guys that have watched us before. So when it comes to the 4 stages of a virtual assistant, we can basically break down any business into 4 stages. And we break this down. It's not even just the real estate transaction. This is any business in general, right? You can look at Walmart, you can look at Coca-Cola, you can look at McDonald's. Any business can be broken down into 4 stages. And any business has different people that do stages. Now, Kevin, what's really unique about the real estate industry, and I'm going to chat with you a lot today, is the problem with the real estate industry is, for some reason, the agent thinks that we can do all 4 stages ourselves forever to an infinite amount of deals, right?
100% agree. 100% agree.
And I don't know where that came from, and I'm still trying to track it down. If you can track down the origin of where that idea came from, let me know. But for some reason, we think that we should do everything. Now, Kevin, I think I know where this came from. I think it came from these big teams growing really, really big. And, you know, from the 2000s to mid 2000s to late 2000s now, I think that this pressure got put on people that you either had to be a solo agent or you had to have a massive mega team crossing state boundaries, crossing lines, and there wasn't really an in-between, right? And I think people are like, well, I don't want to run a team. I don't want to have employees. I don't want to have people, but there's a way to do it in between, right? But the pressure got put that you're either a solo agent or you're going big, right? And for a lot of us, we don't want to go grow a 20, 30, 40 person team. So to kind of look at the 4 stages, obviously, most of you guys are very familiar with the real estate transactions. The 4 stages of a real estate VA is this. Whenever you have an admin, so many of you guys might not have an admin right now, and you're trying to think, when is the right time for an admin? So we're going to talk a lot about that. We're obviously going to talk about the 50 things that I would have your admin do immediately. But before we can do that, we have to realize the different parts. So part number 1 is lead generation, right? And Kevin, I think everybody would agree, this is the most crucial piece to any business because the rest doesn't start without it.
For anybody who doesn't agree with that, it's okay that you're wrong. You'll learn soon that is correct.
Now, absolutely. Now, I think, Kevin, another misnotion here is people think that lead generation is cold calling, right? Lead generation is internet leads. And I think what people need to realize is lead generation is a whole lot of things. That could be you going and having 50 lunches a month with your colleagues from your past careers, right? We don't believe that lead generation is just one thing. So think of your favorite thing that you like to lead generate in. That's the first step. For McDonald's and Walmart, their lead generation is ads, it's word of mouth, and it's been brand built up over time, no different than your business. Stage number 2 is pre-transaction. Now, pre-transaction is everything from basically the point where you get a signed agreement until something goes under contract. So in the real estate business, there is so much that goes on from the time that you get a buyer's rep till you even get a contract. I mean, Kevin, I know in your market, I see in our private Facebook group all the time, You have agents on there that are like, I got 79 offers. And I'm like, what? 79 offers. And so that pre-transaction process of 79 offers, sorting them, fielding all the calls, finding all the problem, answering all the agents' inquiries, right? That pre-transaction process, Kevin, you can tell me if I'm wrong here, has actually probably increased over the last 8 years, 10 years of a really good market.
Yep.
It used to be in 2008, 2009 during a downturn, and there's pros and cons to everything. You could go out, show a buyer, or you get a listing, and you would like have one person come on and offer the property. And it was like, cool, that pre-transaction process shrunk in the normal resale world, right? Obviously, it's short sales and some things like that where it was different. But that's kind of the first two steps: lead generation and pre-transaction. The next one is mid-transaction. So most people's very familiar with this. This is the part where you go under contract. So from the part you go under contract until the day you close. Now, there's obviously the normal transaction coordinator duties. So if you're a solo agent, you probably either are doing all the transactions yourself, you have a per file company. If you're on a team, you might have an admin, you might still use a per file company. So the mid-transaction piece is everything from the time you go under contract to the time you close. Then the post-transaction, this is all very elementary here. Post-transaction is from the moment it closes, at the closing table, you shake hands after, right? Now, Kevin, I think what we realize here is a lot of agents get into the business and they get a deal or two and they really get down into the weeds of the pre-transaction and the mid-transaction, and they forget about the front two parts, right? Yeah, they're like, oh, I got my first deal. I got this, I got that. Or even as we grow, right? An agent that's used to doing 5 deals a year and they get to 15, 20 deals a year, they let all the things fall off, the lead gen, the post-transaction, and they focus on just closing. So when we're going to talk about VAs today, it's important to know kind of these different pieces because, Kevin, I think a lot of times people make a mistake when they hire an assistant. Guess what they do? They'll go,
a lot of mistakes.
Hey, yeah, they make a lot of mistakes, but the biggest mistake, man, is they tell their VA, I want you to help me with lead generation, pre-transaction, mid-transaction, and post-transaction, right? And it took an agent years to figure that out, right? Or months or hours. And for us, we want to make sure that we understand what we need a VA for. And so if you guys have ever considered getting an assistant, this is what we look at. Most people that are ready to hire a full-time admin, they usually have the mid-transaction down, right, Kevin? If an agent's already been doing 12, 24 deals a year and they're ready to hire an admin, most likely they already have the transaction piece down. Is that fair to assume?
Yep.
They know how to close it. They know how to do the paperwork. They know how to do that, right? So you already have that down. So then what we look at is most agents have one lead gen lever they already love. So if you had the mid-transaction down, you got that down pat. You have a lead gen lever that you love. You may not have as much time as you would like with that lead gen lever because you're so busy, but most likely you got to 12 to 24 deals somehow by having a lead gen lever that you love. Now, I'm not saying if you're 0 to 12 deals that you don't need a VA. I'm just saying that we usually find people between 12 plus deals. That's kind of where they start to look at virtual assistants or admins. So you have a lead gen lever you love. And even if that lead gen lever is just being present with everybody in your life because you have so many connections, that is a lead gen lever. If you increase the amount of people you're connecting with, you'll close more deals. So a lot of agents have those two pieces under control. And Kevin, that's what allows them to do between 12 and 24 deals a year, doing lead gen and having the mid-transaction piece. The difference for a lot of people for excelling past that is the pre-transaction and the post-transaction. Kevin, I know when I was in business, I had so many signed buyers reps that I just never closed because I had awful follow-up in the pre-transaction, right? I got the internet lead sign, got the buyer's rep, and because I didn't have a system in place for pre-transaction, I missed a ton of deals, right? That was the difference in my first year, probably 10 deals I missed, right? I didn't follow up. They went to an open house. I'm sure you see this all the time on your team too, man, right?
All day, every day. This is the pot of gold that every single agent at every level, even our own team who we excel at that, still miss it. We're still missing so many opportunities.
Mm-hmm. I kind of got blind. I'm like, oh, I got 10 buyers reps, and then I'd want to go get more. And then I'm like, wait, I need to close these 10 buyer reps, right? But I didn't want to lose track of my lead gen. And then I'll tell you, man, I was the worst. I was the worst post-transaction person ever. I never called my past clients. I never talked to them. I never texted them. I never did anything with them, right? And so I lost a lot of business and a lot of growth because those two things slipped through the cracks. And so we kind of talked about this a little bit. So let's put that in the back of your brain for a second, the 4 stages of a transaction. And let's look at the 3 types of agents. There's 3 types of agents. You kind of have your solo agent that does everything. Usually it's between 0 and 36 deals that you see the solo agents operating within. Yes, I know, Kevin, there's some rarities out there that can do 60 to 80 transactions by themselves. I think that they're absolutely crazily awesome, and I don't know how they do it.
But they're outliers, and they're outliers, and we can't assume that everybody can do it. I don't know how they do it either.
I give you guys, I will bow down to you. I don't know how you do it. I got to about 30, 35 at my max when I was solo and I was on a team, and I still don't know how you do it. So massive praise to you. So Kevin, they usually need a VA just to get the time back, right? They don't need a VA to do a whole bunch of crazy things. They just need a VA to get them 5, 10, 15 hours back. Maybe not even for their business, maybe just to keep their marriage together, maybe just to show up to their kids' events, right? Maybe just to actually enjoy a little bit of the good money they're making, because solo agents, man, are usually highly profitable, right? There's pretty good profit when the business is run right. And so usually a solo agent just needs a VA to get time back, right? They don't need their VA to come in and build a multi-million-dollar business to start. They just need someone to give them some time back so they can be re-energized and start to break that ceiling. Usually when that solo agent hires either a VA, which is maybe overseas, a VA that's sitting right next to them, they usually start to go, wow, I'm doing 36 deals with ease now. I'm ready to ramp it up, and I'm ready to have a buyer's agent, right? Or I'm ready to have a listing agent or whatever that may be. And so and Kevin, I'd love to pick your brain on this. When you guys first brought on your first agents, because I know you guys had some awesome admin already kind of in place. When you guys had an admin and then you started bringing on agents, what was your admin? And I know Ross was a big part of this. Like, what was the admin's full-time job in the beginning when you guys were growing a team, not really knowing what you were growing? What did the admin do during their day? Because they obviously weren't probably processing thousands of deals for these new agents that came in day one. Right.
Well, the thing is, they were processing transactions, because we obviously had transactions going to be able to get to that point where we could hire people. But they were doing everything from onboarding new agents to the team. You mentioned, like, we were in a place of like growing and adding, doing everything from helping getting agents all set up into our system and into our training system, to actually getting our training system designed, to sending out content and information to our clients. Like, honestly, like anything that you could think of that happens in a real estate business, they did. Ordering signs, like from a listing standpoint, communicating with buyers, lenders, title companies, etc. Like, they were literally having to do a little bit of everything.
And my guess is, Kevin, like, you at the time probably didn't just give them a roadmap and say, these are all the things we need to build, right? Yeah.
It took a little time for sure. Like, honestly, like anything else, as we built it, what we had to do is, like, we created a mess, and then we'd realize, like, oh man, when we do that many deals, when we're doing 15 deals every single month, finally, or 10 deals every single month, or 20, or then 30, then 40, like, you just realize, like, you've got new problems that you didn't have before, and you just got to solve them.
Well, and I think a lot of times too, you get so in the weeds of building these new systems that when you're growing at this level, you, like, I can tell you with me and my dad's team, when we were at 36, 50 deals, we only had 1 to 2 admin. And we felt like we needed 100, because we always thought of this new thing. Oh, we did this, we need that built. And if you take an admin and they go build something for 8 hours, well, then we're backlogged, right? When you started to do 10 plus transactions a month. And so usually small teams, they already have an admin a lot of times in place, and they need a VA just to manage growth, right? They need a VA just to manage growth, to handle all the new agents. I mean, Kevin, the turnover of new agents a lot of times on a team is pretty high, right? Yeah. Across the industry.
Yeah, for most part. I mean, when you look at the industry turnover rate in general, it's super high. But with a team, here's my thought: it can be even higher, because typically teams will actually have more of a standard than a brokerage will. Mm-hmm. And so it's going to be an even higher turnover rate.
Yeah. I mean, I'll still always die by this quote. I'm not sure everybody loves it, but Ben Kinney, I know a good friend of yours, always used to say, to find the Navy SEALs, you had to hire the Navy. And I talk about this like every webinar. You have to hire the Navy to find the Navy SEALs. And that's kind of the way the team was, or at least we see a lot, is you might have to hire 3-5 people to find the one that sticks. And that requires a lot of onboarding processes, systems. So just to kind of cover that, small teams usually need a VA or an in-person admin just to manage growth, right? Then once you get to a large team, admins get overloaded. I mean, Kevin, was there ever a point where your head admin was just working 60, 70 hours a week and it's finally, and they just don't tell you that, right? You can just tell they're busting at the seams, and your decision is
Absolutely.
what? Your decision is what? I either have to go hire another 30, 40, 50, 60, $70,000 salary, or I'm just going to let them keep busting, right?
Yeah, I mean, and what's funny is this problem keeps coming up. Like here, we're at a place where our team is in pretty big growth mode from a transaction standpoint, and we're at a place now. We do, Justin. We had this conversation. Fred and I and Jill had this conversation on Monday, where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, cool, we can add another. It's like, when do we add? We can go add that full time employee, like you said, at that super high salary, or could we go with the? Luckily, you and I have had a lot of these conversations, or we go add some more virtual assistant help.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you guys are kind of working in a virtual world a little bit, right? I know you guys still do some in-person things, and mostly it's virtual for the most part, I think, in a lot of your cases.
100%. Like that, Monday was the first day that Jill has been physically in our office since March 10th. So
That's
yeah, like, and we haven't missed a beat. In fact, our production has only gone up. So that's, yeah, it's pretty virtual.
I love that, man. So a lot of times large teams like you, they just need a VA just to give their lead admin more time back, right? Because it's rare to find a Jill. It's rare to find, and a lot of people on this call, you may have a Jill in your life. You may have a rock star admin, but you're not ready to go pay a $30, $50, $60,000 salary again. So you might need a VA to help already kind of, you take Jill's time, you get her 80, you get that 80% off her plate to a VA and let her excel at her 20% and grow faster. So, all right, man, this is what we're here for. The top 50 things a VA can do for you. So the reason why I went through all those different phases is because when someone comes to us, and this is something we've learned this year, Kevin, I think we did our first webinar in March. I just looked, we've done 170 VA placements since March, 170. And what we did is we compiled all of the top things that we consistently are seeing teams do over and over and over again. So I kind of made the dream list. This dream list is kind of what I tell someone if they come to us and go, Justin, I don't even know what a VA could do for me, but I just know that if they did something, I would feel a lot better. My business would grow and my family would like me more, right? That's literally the conversation we had. I used to just say, Kevin, well, just go figure it out. Like I used to just tell them, I got you an Austin VA, you have to figure it out. But after time, we built our training up to be able to go, here you go. So Kevin, in the lead gen space, I'm just going to give you a few examples here. And almost all of these are free because you obviously can do all the, our VAs do wide local leads and sync leads and boomtown leads. But for a lot of us, we don't need that to start. So our VAs, we keep seeing consistently they do Facebook group postings. I mean, Kevin, you see that all the time in your market. You guys got a big market for that. They're posting their listings in Facebook groups and pushing their IDX sites, right? Now, Kevin, can I be fully honest and just ask you a big question? If you were selling today, let's say you were selling 24 homes a year, do you think that you're best utilizing your time to be posting some onesie-twosie homes on Craigslist or Facebook groups?
Nah, I'd be so focused on what my actual core lead gen activity is that I wouldn't, there's no way I'd have time for that.
No, but do you think it'd be worth it if you had a VA at a few dollars an hour that could help you close 2 more transactions because the leads are just flowing into your CRM?
I was going to say absolutely all day long.
Absolutely. And so there's a lot of things you guys will see here that you would never do that you can now do to add. I mean, because Kevin, your market, if you guys get 2 more deals added to your bottom line, or even just 1 more deal, that's like $10,000, right? Because you guys have exploded in price.
Yeah, it is. Like, I mean, even if it was less, like even if we went backwards when the average commission was $6,000, like that's still, dude, that's good income. Like that's good money to add. You can't discount that.
Yeah, and I actually challenge everybody right now. I challenge you to go into the buy, trade, and sell groups in your market and Craigslist, especially your market, Kevin. You'll be shocked at this. Go into if you guys are in the Phoenix market, whatever market you're in, go on Craigslist and look up who's doing Craigslist ads. You will be shocked that you recognize almost all of the names on there. Big teams. And I'll tell you, if a big team is taking the time to do it and make that money, it's even more important that you do because it's absolutely free. They understand the free lead gen game. So I'm just showing you guys some things here. So we see Facebook group postings, Craigslist postings. So Kevin, let's just say Facebook group postings took 20 minutes a day for a VA to do. Okay. Let's say Craigslist took 20 minutes a day. We're at half an hour. Let's say that you had a Facebook friends list of 5,000 people and they cold message 20 people a day for you. That probably takes them half an hour. So we're about an hour. We're about an hour into their 8-hour day. Let's say that they spend an entire hour making awesome social media posts for you because you hate social media. That's 2 hours into their day, right? And then let's say, and we've talked a lot about this with a lot of people, Kevin, have I ever talked to you about referral circles before? I don't think we have.
I think I know what you're talking about, but yes,
Cool.
go for it though.
Cool. So referral circles are super unique to what we do in our business. Is Kevin, you're with EXP right now, and there's a lot of agents at EXP that are across the entire state of Arizona, right? And is it fair to say they don't all know who you are?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. So Tucson's a market that's what, like 2 hours away from you?
Yeah, about 2 hours.
Cool. So a referral circle is basically where you take your center of business, you draw a circle around you, and anybody that's not in that circle, you need to make sure that you go become what I call micro famous. That's something by the guy, Matt Johnson taught this to me. It's a book that he wrote for podcasting, but go be micro famous because Kevin, you're not going to serve Tucson, right? Because it's outside of kind of your circle service area.
Correct.
And Tucson's probably not going to serve your area, right?
Correct.
Now, let's just say for numbers' sake that there's 500 EXP agents in Tucson. Well, wouldn't it be a pretty good idea for you to be like known by all those agents just to be known as the king of Phoenix?
Yes.
Now, how would you go about doing that? Like, are you going to cold call them all? Kevin, I know you like to get off work and just go call a whole bunch of your company colleagues all day.
Not a chance.
No, right? But what are we going to do? All the things that we learn in Next Level Agents, right? We have things like mailers. I know Frank just came on and did an awesome webinar on that. We have email systems. Frank does an awesome job at that. And so there's these different things, Kevin, where no matter the brokerage you're at, there's people outside of your circle. Because Kevin, are you more likely to get a referral from Tucson or New York?
Tucson.
Probably Tucson. Now, even though there's a mass exodus out of New York, you're still more likely to get a referral from Tucson because of its proximity.
Yeah, I was gonna say because it's so close, there's so much back and forth.
And so, Kevin, if you become micro famous with those 500 agents in your brokerage in Tucson, is it fair to say you may get at least a deal or two?
I think that's probably fair to say.
Cool. So we have our VAs that we call referral circles. They find every agent outside of our circle and they make sure that we become extremely famous with them, right? That's through texting, calling, emailing, voicemail drops, different things like that. So Kevin, that can usually take another 20 to 30 minutes a day that we have them just letting people know we're famous. We go and add them all as friends on Facebook, right? So many different things. We do referral watching. Our VAs watch referral groups for us. So if I get tagged in a referral, we can jump on it. Garage sales. Kevin, I love this one. My VAs send me a list of garage sales now. And then basically they'll reach out and go, hey, are you guys happen to be moving? Because if you are, we actually have a garage sale referral kit for you where we'll go and drop off referral signs for them, right? Open house signs, because if someone's doing a garage sale, they may be moving in 3 to 6 months, right? So it's another little thing a VA can do.
Dude, I love that. God, this is why I like to do webinars with you. I always get more ideas for our business.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can't even do them all, right? Like, I wish I could say I was doing that in Tennessee. I'm not. There's so many other things we can be doing. But the VA's going through Craigslist because they're already on Craigslist. Let's just look at where the open houses are this weekend. Pretty good chance that they might be moving. Monthly newsletters, Kevin. I think this is the most underrated thing. And I love viral marketing for this. So if you guys need a service for this, do it. But if for some reason you're not doing anything at all with a newsletter, you can have your VA do some of it. Right? You need, like Kevin, we all talk about, I think a lot of us go, oh, the newsletter, and we should do it, but we never do it. We never do it.
It's literally why we hired viral marketing, is because we knew it would always get done no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you guys need that, go with viral marketing. They're the king and queen of it. But if for some reason you don't use them and you're not, you can have your VA do it, right? Client care calls. Kevin, here's the thing. People tell me all the time, Justin, your VAs just called me and I absolutely love them to death, right? My client care managers call you because here's the thing. I'm fully transparent with you. Even my people that are in my database that closed with me yesterday, I always forget to call them. I just forget to do it, right? Or I don't make it a priority. But what I do is I go, awesome. I'm going to go find someone that is way more bubbly than me, that loves you way more than me, because that's their full-time job. Kevin, and I don't want to say I don't love my clients, but guess what? when I hire someone 40 hours a week to love on them, they're going to provide a lot more love than I can, even if I only have 10 minutes for them.
Heck
Right?
yeah.
It's just a time thing. Just a time thing. I kind of say this, Kevin, what if your insurance agent called you today and had a client care manager on their team, someone that did your home insurance or your auto insurance, and said, hey, Kevin, this is Sarah, with John's Insurance. I just wanted to say thank you for being a customer of ours for 7 years. Thank you so much. Do you need anything from us? Right? Wouldn't that kind of leave an impression?
Absolutely would be.
Now, would you be like, oh, damn, John, he didn't call me himself? Right? You'd be like, wow, he hasn't called me in 7 years. That's pretty cool. He must be doing something, right? He must be caring about me more now, right? And so that's kind of what the route we take there. So prepping your lead gen, right? Kevin knows this. I don't believe in the VAs performing cold lead gen. I don't prefer them calling cold leads or anything like that. Cold calling for sale by owners expireds. I think it's been this myth that the VA companies have sold. Oh, just let some foreign person call your leads for you that you've never even called before, and everything will be magical. You'll have 5 appointments a week. Guys, if that was true, every single agent in the US would have a virtual assistant tomorrow, right? It's just like hiring here. That's the hardest thing to do. You have to have systems in place. Kevin, I think you might have told me this, or someone in our organization told me this. It said, Justin, even if I gave you a VA that set you 10 for sale by owner appointments a week, because you've never called them yourself, you have no clue how to even close it, right? And so it's kind of the do it before you expect someone else to do it. And then, of course, a lot of us recruit other agents, whether you're a brokerage. Here's the other thing cool. It's really cool, Kevin. Some people don't think they're recruiters, but they actually are. Everybody in real estate is a recruiter to some degree, whether you're growing. Yeah, we're all recruiters. Whether you're looking to recruit for your company, your brokerage, or even for your own team, or even looking for admin, you are a recruiter at the end of the day. We also recruit clients, right? We are recruiting people to work with us. So that's lead generation. So man, if that's all we focused on, I think and know that an agent can do 3 to 5 more transactions next year, right? At a minimum. And then we talk about pre-transaction. Pre-transaction, man, is what takes up a majority of the time right now. And a lot of agents go, well, Justin, I already have a per file transaction coordinator. But Kevin, what does the pre-file transact? When does a per file transaction company, when do they actually take over the file usually?
After it's in contract.
Once it's in contract. And so we have this entire list of things that happen pre-transaction that agents don't even realize go on. And it's those things that you go home real fast in between showings and you do for 15 minutes real fast. And that's what makes you feel frazzled running out the door, because you got home, you grabbed a sandwich, and then you had to schedule 5 showings, right? And now you're running out the door to your next person and you just feel it in this constant frazzle mode. Like, what if you just had an earpiece in with your assistant sitting there on your drive to your next appointment? You're like, hey, John called me. He needs showings at these 4 property. And now the showings just appeared, got accepted, got followed up on, and now they're set, right? You feel less frazzled throughout your entire day. So pre-transaction, this could be things like CMA prep. Kevin, I saw this used really well with Andrew Franklin and his team. Me and Fred went to a concert with Andrew up in Seattle, and we took a 2-hour car ride from the airport to the venue. Andrew Franklin had like 15 listing appointments on his phone in that like 2-hour car drive. And all he did was call his assistant and be like, hey, I need you to start prepping everything. And he's like, cool, $10,000. That's literally what he said.
Side note, Fred's had that experience more than once now on a couple different trips with Andrew. And he always comes back like kind of pissed off and very jealous of that fact that happens. And I just interviewed Andrew a couple days ago. He's going to be our guest on the podcast next Monday.
Yes.
How he's going to talk about he actually has, guys, 300 active listings at all times, 300 or more, I should say. He pretty much shared in detail how they do that.
Yeah, I love it, man. Because even Andrew, when he was on those trips, he didn't realize it, but he actually had virtual assistants. They may not have been foreign, but they were virtual, right? They were virtual. And he got that. Now, Andrew, side note, actually has a few of our VAs now from the Philippines. But that's the different things that you can do while you're on the road and not stressed, right? So CMA prep, listing packets, pulling tax records, pulling previous sale docs. Like, Kevin, it is so cool. I hooked my VAs up to my printer so Shireen can actually print to my printer. So when I'm driving around, if I need her to print me something for an upcoming meeting, she can literally print from the Philippines and I come home and it's already printed on my desk because I have my printer sitting here where it just drops on my desk and it's sitting in a basket. So they'll literally print it in the order of my meetings. Paige on Fridays, she will print all my coaching prep forms for all my clients because I do 30 coaching calls every Friday. I have to coach 30 people on Fridays, 3 a.m. to about 6 p.m. She prints them all off. So when I wake up at 3 a.m. like this, going, I don't have to worry about anything. All my forms are there. So there's some really cool things that technology has allowed us to do. Database entry, client intake forms. I think this is something I missed a lot, Kevin, was when I got a new client, my biggest problem is I wouldn't actually ask them right when they were excited, all the details of their life. Hey, what's your favorite this? What's your favorite that? Guys, that's the time to fill your CRM up with the goodies. Because if you miss that point, then you'll never call them again because you'll feel awkward. You'll feel awkward 8 months later. Hey, what is your husband's wife's middle name? Like, you know what I mean? Like it becomes really awkward and weird at that point to ask them, hey, well, what's your dog's name too? Where if you do that at the beginning of the transaction and you send them just an intake form and go, tell me everything about your life so I can create a VIP program for you that the VA will eventually execute on.
Dude, that's really smart. Good job on
like,
that, buddy.
Have someone do that. That's when you need to take the intake form. Obviously, listing coordination, scheduling showings, a receptionist. I mean, Kevin, I get 20, 30 phone calls a day, and I don't even take any of them anymore. Someone answers and goes, hey, this is Justin's executive admin. He'll get back to you right away, right? Just taking some of that off my plate, staging coordination and pre-social media, a lot of different things. Now, Kevin, a lot of people come to us needing a VA, and they actually already have a per file transaction coordinator. And I actually many times actually suggest for them to keep them because they already have a system that's rolling, right?
Okay.
They already have a system where they've done 12, 24, that per file transaction coordinator, because they might not be ready to bring an admin in-house yet. A lot of times we don't need to add too many variables. A lot of times people come to us, they'll fire their TC, and it's been 2 years since they've ever touched a file themselves. And then they bring a VA on, and then it blows up. Even though the VA knows some transaction coordination, it blows up because the agent doesn't even know transaction coordination anymore, right? And so many times it's okay to leave that per file transaction coordinator in there because, Kevin, you can probably see even outside of the blue, there's plenty to fill a 40-hour work week.
There's a lot to fill a 40-hour work week here, buddy.
There's a lot. So that talks about the mid-transaction. So just because you might already have a TC, maybe they're an admin, maybe they're just a per file. Guess what? I don't know any per file company that sends client gifts to your clients throughout the transaction, right? I used to hear this. Hey, after they get under contract, send them a gift to their home. Hey, after they get their inspection, send them a gift. After they get their appraisal, send them a gift. And people are like, wow, that's expensive. Well, most agents, when we surveyed them, spent on average $87 on a closing gift. So what we did is we said, let's divide 87 by 4. Well, let's send 4 gifts throughout the process that all we do is our VA logs into Amazon and sends them a gift after each part of the process. Guys, that prolonged the amount of customer service touches we had on someone. I kind of like, have you ever walked into a really nice hotel, Kevin, like where they know your name somehow as you walk in the door?
Yeah.
And then they give you a bottle of water. And then they're taking your luggage up the stairs for you. And then they open your door for you and show you around your room. That's like 5 different points of customer service instead of just the front desk, right? Where a cheaper hotel, you walk in, the front desk is like, hi, Kevin, you can find your way on the map here. I'm going to draw this really confusing circle around everything.
Yep.
Like that's what you can do with a VA. You can give them all those points of customer service and it blows their mind. They've never seen anything like it, right? Especially if they've done transactions with other agents before. They see cookies show up day 1, day 5, day 15, and day 20. They're like, what the heck? My last agent didn't even know how to do real estate, let alone do all of this, right? And it's all being done by a VA. So seller weekly updates, posting social media ads, following up with leads, scheduling open houses, submitting compliance docs. I also call it the Zoom war room, man. I love the Zoom war room. The Zoom war room is where my VAs sit on Zoom all day and they're in my earpieces. So no matter where I'm at, I could be walking downstairs to get the mail. I will have them in my Zoom room all day where I can just go, hey, could you do this for me? Could you send this email? Could you do that? And they're there live all day long. And it's because people are always worried, well, how are you managing people when they're virtual? No different than how you and I are talking right now, right? We can talk just as well here as I could if I was sitting behind you.
That's pretty smooth, dude.
So you guys can't see it. I actually have a screen up behind me here with 15 of my VAs sitting there. So if I wanted to, I could go and talk to them right now and say, hey, could you do this for me? Right. And they'd be able to jump on it. So I don't even feel like they're not here with me.
Hey, could you guys send me a present, please?
Yeah. What do you want, Kevin? What do you want? You want some Colorado cookies?
No. Maybe a new Dodgers World Series championship hat. I don't know.
Okay, I like it. So awesome. So mid-transaction, that's mid-transaction, guys. So there's still a lot that your VAs can do mid-transaction, even if you already have a TC. Now, post-transaction, because Kevin, here's the biggest complaint I hear. Oh, my per file transaction coordinator submitted compliance documents and then they pieced out because that's all they're there for, right? Because that's right. They can't be too custom. But your VA, right? Sending reviews, updating the CRM, doing the 1, 3, 6 month calls, setting up HomeBot. If you guys haven't heard of HomeBot, I know you guys are a big proponent of that, Kevin. Love HomeBot. Big HomeBot person. A lot of people, Kevin, do you know why a lot of people don't use HomeBot?
Yeah, they don't know about it or don't want to slow down to put it into the spreadsheet and upload it.
Exactly. Have your VA do it. Adding people to monthly drips. Kevin, what's really cool is a lot of people here work for companies or organizations, or they know people that already have insanely cool drip campaigns that just sit there and drip on like 3 people when they do 50 deals a year, 20 deals a year, right? So having your VA making sure they're getting into the right place, having your VAs do the quarterly calls, right? Adding to a private Facebook group. Kevin, I don't know if you knew this, but Mark Zuckerberg recently said, and this is part of the reason why I just kind of got kicked off Facebook for a little bit, because I am experimenting at a high level for my clients to do some things people have never seen before. That experimentation got me kind of kicked off Facebook. So if you guys go look me up, it'll look like I'm banned. Well, we're doing some really cool things to try and promote better products for you. So, but long story short, Kevin, Facebook groups are the future of Facebook. So having a Facebook group is 10 times better than having a business page. 10 times better. You should have a Facebook group before you have a business page. Kevin, we have our VAs send a new vendor list, invite VAs to client events, that type of thing. So Kevin, do you think that an agent has to be creative when they get a VA if all they did was have this list here?
Do they have to be creative?
Yeah. Do you think that they have to go out and think of a whole bunch of job tasks and description?
No, they can literally just pick some from here.
Yeah. You can literally pick some, or you could literally just say, I want you to do all of this. And you go, hey, week 1, we're going to cover lead generation, right? Week 2, we're going to cover pre-transaction. Because Kevin, when you look at each one of these items, would you say that if you took 30 minutes for each item and trained a VA on how to do it, and you did it via a recording that they could go back and watch, do you think that it would take more than about 30 to 45 minutes to teach them how to do it?
Nope.
No. So if you look at lead generation, that would probably take you about 5 hours. Now, Kevin, here's the crazy thing. I tell an agent they have to take 5 hours to teach their VA how to do that lead generation thing. And they're like, oh my God, that sounds like a lot. I don't have time for that. But then they just told me they worked 85 hours last week, right? And I'm like, because here's the thing, Kevin, I always tell someone, if you were at 80 hours and you had 3 more deals call you for a listing appointment, guess what you would figure out how to do?
You'd figure out how to go on those appointments.
You'd figure out how to go on the appointments. And usually it's at the expense of your family, of your health, of different things like that. The difference is you're doing that for money. This right here, you're doing it to get your time back so you can make more money. It's the whole, you got to take a 2 steps backwards to take 10 steps forward, right? And so you got to take the time. Dan Jerseth, who has one of our VAs, who I know you know well as well, he always tells me this: Justin, for every 5 hours I spend teaching my VAs, it sucks. I hate it. But it saves me 500 hours because I know that I'm going to be in this business 5 years, right? I know I'm going to be in the business this amount of time. So, Kevin, anything else you can think of? Anything else you guys have your VAs do that I didn't cover on the list?
Graphics, video. No, you got that under social media, video editing.
Big one. Big time. We've had more requests for VAs doing video editing recently than ever before, because guess what? Everything's going to YouTube. It's going to videos. And I'll tell you, Kevin, I don't do well with editing myself. I can shoot the 30-minute video. I can shoot a 10-minute video, but I don't want to sit there for them 3 hours and go click, 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 click. You can have someone do that. And your VAs, man, I did a clip with Fred one day. Your VAs sent me a chop up of it and I was shocked.
That was with no direction. That was just, hey, tell us, pick something out of here. Yeah.
Oh man, it was good. It was good. So if you guys are listening here, I would love for you guys to drop a comment. If you guys have a VA, if you have an admin that does something, share with everybody. What does that VA do? Because I'd love to learn. I like to be selfish, Kevin. I like to learn from our viewers just as much because I definitely don't know everything by any means, by a far stretch of the imagination. So if anybody's got any cool things, Kevin, that they drop in here, let me know because I would love to see what people are using their admins.
I'm going to challenge you. You're on minute like 43 and a half.
Cool. Perfect. Well, I'm going to zoom through then. So bonus perks. So it might be about 55 minutes. Okay. So we'll give a few minutes. So bonus perks, Kevin, they can do a lot of personal things for you. Book your family vacations, order your groceries, pay your bills, schedule massages, dinner reservations, track down things, manage your properties. They can do a whole bunch of fun things. Now, Kevin, people say that you can't buy time back. I disagree. You can buy as much time back as you want, right? Why do companies hire more people? That's what we call buying time. So you can absolutely buy time. Now, Kevin, you and I have witnessed this over the years. You've been in the business a long time. I'm just going to ask you a blunt question. Can you find a VA for between $3 and $6 an hour?
Is it possible? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Every day. Our company gets 2,000 applications a month for $3 to $6 an hour to work for us. Crazy. Do you think that that's low pay if I'm getting 2,000 applications a month? No, there's a big misconception in the industry. So let's do the math, Kevin. $640 a month, that's $4 an hour to a VA, times 12 months. That is $7,600 to have a full-time VA every year. Your market price, Kevin, is about $300,000, if not a little bit more. That is a $9,000 commission check. If a VA does all those things, can you at least do one more deal?
If I can't, then I should give up my license.
I agree. Straight up. So common sense says a full-time admin will help you get one deal a year. Kevin, let's think small. Let's say that VA didn't help you get another deal a year. Would they probably at least give you enough energy back to go be able to do a deal a year?
They'd probably give you some time. Worst case scenario,
they help you get no more deals. They probably give you a few hours of your week back to spend and not be so stressed. So I'm just going to go through real fast, man. Sphere Rocket VA. If anybody's on here and needs a virtual assistant, that's what we specialize in, and we're more than happy to help you. I think, man, after our last webinar, I think we helped, 30 next level agent people get a VA?
Yeah, something crazy like that.
It was like 30 people within like 3 months got a virtual assistant through us. Absolutely insane. And guess what? 91% of them still have their VA to this day, 6 months later. So a high retention rate. So just give you a little introduction to our team. This is how we're able to get 2,000 applications a month. I have a full team of recruiters. Kevin, after our last webinar 6 months ago, there was only the top line. Me, Alan, Shireen, Matt, and Jet. COVID has changed the world. And now you guys will see we quadrupled the size of our team during COVID because of the demand and people accepting virtual assistants as a thing. So Kevin, when someone comes to us real fast, basically when they come to us, we're different than any other company. Well, basically what we'll do is we're going to go and find your VA for you through a custom recruitment process. Then what we're going to do is we're going to give you an entire course on how to best manage a virtual assistant. Kevin, did I tell you that we have a tech coach full-time and now a full-time Riva coach as well?
No, that's awesome.
So we have 2 coaches now since 6 months ago. We do 2 weekly calls. And then basically we just give you the VA. I know you guys are going through the process right now for another one as well. So we basically just go and find them and put them in front of you. We then, and Kevin, this is what differentiates us over anybody else. This is why I have 30 coaching calls every Friday. Every single person that gets a VA through us, the VA gets one-on-one coaching, and so does the employer. So the employers get one-on-one coaching. So if you guys are watching and you're worried about, I don't know how to manage a VA, I don't know what to do with a VA, I feel like I would suck. That's why I one-on-one coach you to make sure that when you launch in your first 30, 60, 90 days that you're having success with your virtual assistant. So with that being said, that's a little bit about our program, how we're different. Most VA companies, they have 6 to 12 month contracts. They basically just have a pool of VAs ready to go. Kevin, I would think it's fair, about $1,500 a month is what most VA companies charge, right?
On average, yeah.
On average. And then they just train them and give them to you. Here you go, Kevin. Best of luck. We got you someone. And guess what? They'll say that they put them through an intensive training course. Guys, an intensive training course is equivalent to what? An agent getting their real estate license through the state exam. That's the equivalency, right? And so with us, we have no contracts. We custom recruit to you. So we don't just have a pool of people sitting around. We will actually build a recruiting profile and go and recruit for you. Now, Kevin, this is shocking. We have a one-time fee of $5,000. Does that just shock you and make it seem like we're absolutely insane compared to $1,500 a month?
I mean, it sounds big, but when you do the math on it, it's awesome.
Yeah. So what I'm going to show you guys here is, watch this, Kevin. If you had a full-time employee and you paid them $3,000 a month, at the end of the year, you owe them $36,000 a year plus Social Security plus taxes. So is that probably north of $45,000 a year?
For sure.
Okay. A typical VA company, let's look on the left side. They start you up with a startup fee, and then they charge you $1,500 a month each and every month. Now, Kevin, is $1,500 a month still a great deal compared to $3,000 plus a month?
Absolutely.
That's $20,000 a year on average that you would do through a typical company. Now with us, Kevin, we have that shocking $5,000 startup fee. But look at the math. We actually give your virtual assistant to you at the cost of them. And after you do the math for the entire year, guess what? We end up being at $14,000. A massive savings.
So inexpensive.
So inexpensive, but here's the cool thing. What do you think the typical VA company does year number 2? They charge you $20,000 year 1. What are they going to charge you year 2? $19,000. Guess what we charge? 0. We have no recurring charges on our company. So year 2, you pay just the VA's fee of $750 a month. Now, Kevin, we get VAs all the time at $500 a month. We get people VAs at $1,000 a month, right? It depends on what you're looking for, the positions and things like that. So would you say that it's fair to say that even though we charge a $5,000 startup fee, we still save people a lot of money compared to any other VA company?
You save them a ton of money, actually.
Now, Kevin, what if you don't have $5,000 right up front? What do you think we offer?
You're going to let me pay it over a couple months.
Of course, we'll let you pay it over 5 months, 6 months, 3 months, whatever you want, man. We might charge a few dollars in interest, right? But outside of that, it's a great deal. You can spread it out. So with that being said, people are really paying us for our recruitment. Kevin, we have over 200 items that people do it every day. I actually have recorded all the videos, the step-by-step instructions. You know, all 50 things I just showed you? I actually have video training on how to do every single one of those.
Stop it.
So now the people don't even have to do it. They just have to watch and give the videos to their VAs. And so you get to get rid of all that. So with that being said, though, Kevin, Fred called me last night and he pulled my arm and he said, we can't charge $5,000 to next level agents. And I said, why not, Fred? And he said, because that's just not the way next level agents work. So I was like, all right, because the Dodgers won, we basically made a bet that if the Dodgers won, that we would give a discount to NLA. So if you guys are looking for a virtual assistant, if within the next 10 days, you schedule an appointment with my team, we will honor that deal for you. Does that sound fair?
Dude, that's awesome.
That's awesome, man. And if you guys do it within the hour, Kevin's paying for it. No, I'm just kidding, but that'd be really cool though. But just kidding, guys. Really easy. If you go to sphererocketva.com, we have a calendar link, Kevin. What's actually funny is we actually deny 30% of people that try and get a VA with us. And here's why. Because we want to make sure that it's a fit for you and your business, right? If it's not, we're not going to try to sell you something that's not a good fit. And so with that being said, when you go to our website, you're not going to see pricing and all of that. I gave it all to you here. You know our entire structure already. And so if you go to Sphere Rocket VA, there's a calendar link. You're going to jump on a call with me or one of my awesome sales reps. And we're basically just going to do a business consultation with you. We're going to make sure that you're actually needing a VA. We're making sure that it's a good fit. We're making sure that you have the right pieces in place, because you know what, Kevin? I'd much rather tell someone, hey, come back in 2 weeks after you do these 2 things and get a VA then, right? Than try and convince someone that they need a VA tomorrow. Because guess what? The business ain't going anywhere. We're all here. So,
good idea.
Kevin, any questions for me, man? Any questions as we kind of wrap up here? Any pressing questions? I know we got to get running here to give everybody their time back, but anything on the tip of your tongue?
No, dude, you got it. Discount code NLA, sphererocketva.com is the link. I posted it in the chat, posted it in the Facebook group. I think that's it, dude. You crushed it. Thank you, Justin Nelson.
Absolutely, man. And I'm actually going to post those 50 things. I put them all in a nice little document, and I will post that in Next Level Agents as soon as I either get Facebook back or I will send it to you to post for me.
Send it to me and I'll post it today.
Cool. Awesome, man. Well, thank you guys so much for joining on here. I am also, if you guys ever need to reach me, justin@sphererocket.com. Obviously, I'm a little bit Facebookless right now, but if you guys have any questions, jump on that schedule link. Even if it's just to ask me a 5-minute question, you can still use that link. More than happy to answer your guys' questions for you. I appreciate it, man, and go Dodgers.
See you guys later. Have a good one.
All right. See ya.